Can we go to the next question?
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm from Central Austin. My question is kind of a practical question, and it's kind of two parts. The first is, are we tracking when an officer unholsters their sidearm? Not just if they use it, but if they unholster it as a de-escalation technique, are they tracking that? And if not, to Mayor Adler and Councilman Houston, should we? Repeat the question.
The question was, do we track when an officer actually unholsters their weapon, not just when they use it, but when they actually draw their weapon? Your question is quite timely, as the chiefs in front of you will acknowledge. This is a conversation we've just been having over the past couple of months, and we are looking at adding this as a metric. We use it now for when a weapon is pointed at an individual, and we're looking to expand that to when the weapon is actually just removed from the holster.
Thank you. Adam, you want to jump in real quick?
Just quickly, I want to add regarding the statistics and the data and whatnot. Let's be real about this. Who are the young men that are killed in this community on a regular basis by the Austin Police Department? It is African American young men. And so you can throw out any data you want about confrontations with police, who pulls the gun, who doesn't pull the gun. You know the names of these young men. Jesse Lee Owens, Kevin Brown, Nathaniel Sanders, Byron Carter, Larry Jackson. There is a pattern here. And until we start dealing with that, which we're doing like tonight, but getting away from this debate about what the data shows or doesn't show, there is an endemic problem that must be addressed.
Thank you, Adam. Nelson, really quickly.
In Sully's American Statesman, there was an article about the budget. Look at what they're talking about. The mayor talked about equity. Councilmember Houston talked about the Resource Advisory Commission, African American issues. These other folks don't talk about investment in people. That's your government. If they don't talk about addressing disparities in our community among black and brown people, that means they don't care. So why keep electing them?
Thank you, Nelson. Next question.
Hi, my name is Kip, and I live in South Austin. Like many of us here, I'm on Facebook, and I've been sympathizer for Black Lives Matter movement, as well as just voice concerns about police behavior, inappropriate behavior, whether it's the reported incidences that happened in Dallas with an officer putting his knee in the back of a teenage girl, incidences like that we're all aware of, and so when I serve as kind of an activist in trying to help people that I know, people who are my friends, understand the nature of some of these malfeasances. I get pushback. Oftentimes, people defend officers come hell or high water, and it's a challenge because I know these people; they're my friends. I don't want to convey the idea that I feel that law enforcement works against us. But I'm also aware that we live in an age of media pervasivenesss, and in the climate of 21st century America, when we have something like Fox News, how do we find a point of meeting between entities and people who seem to be very much aligned with Fox News' perception of things and the reality that we all are here for tonight?
Thank you. Margo?
If I can, I think part of it is the fact that when people walked in this room, there were some people who were making comments about whether there were more black people in this room or white people in this room. He's in this room because you care about this issue. And we need to start having conversations and quit putting everybody in little boxes.
Thank you. Councilmember Houston?
And I would like to say that we all need allies. especially in this fight for justice. We need allies, and we need to be, as I said, respectful of one another. I represent 29% of the black people who live in Austin. The rest of the black people live in 10 other city council districts. And so it's up to you to contact your city council member and say that black lives do matter to you and that you want their help in solving this problem. I can't solve it by myself. So the call to action that I'm leaving with you all is to call whoever your city council member is and have a conversation like we're having here tonight and talk to them about what it is that you want. So when the time comes for us to take a vote, we've got the vote of other council members, and I'm just not there waving my hand up saying, yes, we need body cameras.
Thank you, council member. Now, how many blue cards are there out there left? There's one. Go ahead, final question.
Good evening. My name is Julian Reyes. My family member of mine, simple dog, was shot by Austin police officers and covered up. My question is, what is the moral, ethical, and dutiful responsibility of the police monitor's office, the brass, the mayor, and the city council to keep the police officers accountable under the law to the same laws that you and I would be upheld to if we walked into a police officer's yard and shot his family member? Would we be innocent until proven guilty, or would we be taken to jail immediately? I just wondered, when is the ethical and responsible moral obligation of these leaders to us, to the people of Austin?
Thank you. Anybody want to take that?
I'm going to try, because I know that after Shina Bach got killed, that the police did reform their training about how they were to approach dogs that were loose in people's yards. So I'm not sure I can answer anything more than I know they went through extensive training about how to approach dogs.
Yes, we actually, there's a national, Mr. Jim Osorio, I believe was his name, and he's a national expert in dealing with aggressive and dangerous dogs. He's got a program that's been adopted across many departments in this state, and I'm not sure if it's extended beyond the borders, but we took it seriously enough that we have put all of our officers through this training on how to handle calls involving both aggressive and dangerous animals.
Thank you.
If I may, I'm going to go off the subject a little bit, but I mean, it applies to you, but it also applies to everybody else in this room. If you were treated in a way that, by the police department that you think you've been treated poorly, then you need to tell somebody, and that means more than telling your friends when you're sitting around the kitchen table. You need to take the trouble to call the office of the police monitor to make your complaint, because what winds up happening so often is that there'll be something, including maybe something that shows up on YouTube, and the response of the police department is often is, well, if you haven't gotten a complaint, we're not going to investigate it. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel safe calling us, there's a gentleman sitting to my left that I guarantee, I would hope all of you feel safe calling, and Nelson knows my number, and we can help coordinate you being able to come into our office and talk to us in a way that you won't have to fear retaliation. But don't sit back and take it, complain about it.
All right, real quick, Nelson.
The police are a very convenient target, but our city council runs this city. If they don't invest in African Americans and in equity and racism and white supremacy that's been here for 100 years, we will never solve this problem. Why do you let them off the hook? Those are the folks who control this city, not the police. If they don't invest in policies that create equity, that enforce law, we're spinning our wheels. By the way, how many folks here tonight from the city council? Raise your hand. Are here tonight from the city council? The Austin City Council, how many people are here tonight? Read yesterday's paper about the budget and see what they're talking about. If they can pass a resolution on saving elephants, that's a good thing. they can try to save black people as well.
Thank you, Nelson.
Let me say, so I bought copies of the budget, the condensed version. The budget is several books high, but I bought a condensed version that's back there behind, oh, she's waving them now. I also bought information about economic development opportunities for those that need that, and also for veterans, how to participate in the honor flight. So it's right back there in the bag.
All right, thank you.